Hello guys, my name is Alex Gomez from Easy3D, a channel focused on Blender and Zbrush tutorials. On today's video, I'm going to take you step by step on how to create your first character in Blender. This is a beginner's tutorial, so if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a video every Friday. So let's get to it, guys. I'm gonna select my cube and I'm gonna move it up. I'm gonna press G, Z, and move it up. Have to be a little bit hard with my keys because my Z key is not working as good. Anyways, now I'm gonna scale this on X, like that. You can press X and you can press S and X to scale it in that side. Okay, now I'm gonna go in my component mode. So I'm gonna press tab. After pressing tab, if I press 1, let's go to vertex mode. If I press 2, it goes to edge mode. And if I press 3, it goes to face mode. Okay? So I'm gonna press 2, go to my edge mode. I'm gonna press Ctrl R, and I'm gonna make a loop right in the middle. I'm not gonna move it, I just click there. I'm gonna press escape just to activate it, and it's activated right there. Perfect. I'm gonna go to 3 to face mode, and I'm gonna select these two faces. This is for the head of our robot. Then I'm gonna press I'm gonna press E to extrude, and then S, and I'm gonna extrude it inside like that. Okay, so I press E and then I press S to extrude it. Now with those two faces selected, I'm just gonna scale it a little bit so I get more proportion in this side and the top side. It's kind of like a more equal. Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna press E again and Z. So I'm gonna extrude that in. This my Z is not working, so I'm gonna press Z again. No Z, sorry, Y. So with Y, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna extrude it in just like that. Perfect. Now I have that part, but this part I don't really need it per se. Like this is gonna be kind of like the screen of the face. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to separate, right click separate, and by selection. So if I separate by selection, now this piece is different and this piece is different. So I can call this the head right here. If I double click, it's called the head underscore PLY, poly. And then this is the screen. So I'm gonna call it screen underscore PLY. Perfect. Now let's work on the head. I'm gonna press tab to go to component mode. And in this case, I don't need these faces right here. So I'm just gonna go to X-ray mode and I'm gonna just delete them. I just like to delete faces. Perfect. Go back to X-ray mode. So I just would like to just do one side and the other side, whatever. I can just duplicate it or mirror it. So let's say add some bevels here. So I'm just gonna select I'm gonna press 2 to go to edge mode, and pressing Alt, I select the whole loop there. So I'm gonna press Alt as well here to select the whole loop, Shift Alt, and select the one there. Okay, now that I have that, I can go to my bevel, right there, bevel, and I'm gonna drag this, I'm gonna drag this circle there, and I'm gonna bevel this probably around there. And you see that there's gonna be a window coming up in here. So I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna put the segments up to 2. Perfect, so I have that. Now I'm gonna do the bevel in this side. So I'm just gonna Alt, Shift Alt, Shift Alt, and I can bevel all of these ones here. So let's do that again. Array bevel is activated, so I'm just gonna bevel like that, just probably around there. Now I have my window there, and I'm gonna put 2 segments and click outside. Now I have that part. But if you notice here, like I'm gonna have an angle. So what I can do to finish this up, I can just select the knife tool, just cut from here to that vertex, and cut from this point, probably around there, and to this point, probably around here. And this is because maybe you want to use that for animation. I always end up doing everything by polygons, by quads. So you can see like I have four-sided, 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 four-sided. Okay, press enter and go back. So now that piece is done, then I can just go to tab to object mode, and I go to my modifiers in here with this range, add modifier, and I'm gonna add a mirror modifier. So it's gonna mirror me right there. Perfect. So now that I have my mirror modifier, like my head and my screen done, I'm just gonna move them up a little bit. So let's press the G, Z, and move them up a little bit. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on the body. So the body is gonna be just a regular box. So press Shift A, Mesh, and Cube. Okay. So with the cube like that, I'm just gonna add, I can add a modifier here, a bevel modifier. So let's add a bevel modifier with segments 2, 2, sorry. And that box is good. Probably I'm gonna make a little bit small, so just press S and scale it in. Probably that's too small, put around that area. And press G, Z, and move it up. So this is gonna be the body of our little robot. Now I'm going to start creating kind of like the joints, and the joints are going to be spheres. So for the joints, like I'm saying, like the shoulders, the elbows, and the knees. So let's go Shift A, Mesh, UV sphere. I have the sphere like that, but I want to do something different to this sphere. So what I'm going to do is going to go to Edit Mode. I'm going to select all of these loop with Alt. So Alt, click, and it's gonna select all the loop. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna add a bevel right there. So let's add a bevel to that. Perfect, something like that. And then I'm gonna bevel this again. So let's bevel it around there. And I think it's fine with 2. I'm gonna select this edge here and this edge here with Alt, and then Shift Alt to keep selecting like that. And I'm gonna bevel these ones too again, just a little bit, tiny bit, and add segments 3. Perfect. So this is gonna be kind of like my the joints. I'm gonna press Tab. I'm gonna add a modifier, so I'm gonna add a subdivision surface right there. Perfect. I'm gonna put these 2, 3, and 3, 3, and 3. So that's good for me now. So I'm just gonna move these to the side for now. So I'm just gonna press G, X, and move it to the side. So I'm not gonna use it right now. Okay, now I need to do the neck and the arms. So the neck and the arms, I'm just planning to do something totally different. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just gonna press Shift A. I'm gonna go to Mesh, Cylinder. I'm gonna add a cylinder like that. I'm gonna take the vertices down to 16, and that's good enough. I'm gonna select this, press Tab to enter to component mode. I'm gonna select the face, so I have to go and press number 3, select the face, select this face with Shift, and press Delete, and delete faces. Now I have those faces deleted. Okay, now I'm gonna go to object mode again. I'm gonna scale this up on Z. So S, Z, and scale it up a little bit, probably around there. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my component mode. I'm gonna go to number 2, press number 2, Control R, and I'm gonna click and press escape. And now that I press escape, I have the number of cuts. I want to increase the number of cuts. So I'm gonna put probably around 5 cuts right there and click outside. I'm gonna Alt, select all the loops, Shift Alt, Shift Alt. I'm just pressing Alt and Shift at the same time and clicking all those lines or those loops. Then I'm gonna go to my bevel, and I'm gonna bevel these guys here. and I'm gonna get the segments to 3. Perfect. Now I'm gonna select this loop in the middle, and we're gonna do almost the same as we did with the sphere. Okay, so I'm gonna press S, and I'm gonna scale this down. I'm gonna press S, Z, and I'm gonna make this that it goes almost in the middle, all of them, right there. Perfect. That looks much better. Now I'm gonna take all of these ones. So press Alt, click to get all the loops right there. And let's move this and this one here. And then I'm gonna bevel all of them again, right there, and just 3 segments. Perfect. So now that I have this piece, I'm gonna just move it to the side. So I'm just gonna go Tab, press G, X, and move it to the side. Perfect. Well, so I have this part ready, so I'm just gonna go add a modifier. I'm gonna add a subdivision surface, and let's do like a 3 and 3. Okay. Now this is my neck. So before I move that, I should, I think that's fine there. So let's go here and let's move this one, and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna snap these 2 cursor, and it's gonna go right in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna Control D to duplicate. I'm gonna press GX, and now I can just move this one up and adjust my neck. So I have like the other duplicates for the arms. So I'm gonna scale this down around there, a little bit smaller, and bring this down. Okay, so I have the neck of my robot right there. Okay, let's put the shoulders to it. So let's press Shift D to duplicate. I can move it like that, or I can just press Escape and just move it like this way. Okay, I'm just gonna work in one arm first. Let's go to the front view, and then I will duplicate the whole arm to the other side. Let's put this around here. Let's see how big is this. And let's move this part. Let's rotate this tiny bit. Around this area. Perfect. Now I'm gonna take my arm and I'm gonna duplicate it and press Escape and move it this side. Scale it down. Move it around there and rotate it. Around there, keep scaling them down, and let's move it up. Probably a little bit smaller, I will say, around there. Perfect. So I have like the part of my robot. Then I need the elbow, so I'm just gonna take this one that I already have, and I'm gonna duplicate it, Control D, because I like the position that it is now. So I'm gonna rotate this one, and I'm just gonna put it around this area here. Let's move it down, and let's rotate this guy a little bit, and let's scale it down around there. Perfect. So I have the shoulder of my robot. So scale it down a little bit more, and let's move it up. Let's do that instead. Let's move it up a little bit until it connects there. Okay. Perfect. So I have this piece of my robot right there. Okay. So now I'm gonna create the forearms. So for the forearms, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create another cube. So press Shift A, Mesh, Cube. Okay, and this is pretty much is gonna be almost the same as the as the lower legs. So let's scale this up, SZ, scale this up, scale this down a little bit, Perfect. Let's go to edit mode, press 3 to face mode, select this face, press S, scale this down. Perfect. Something like that. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, we're gonna press 2, press Ctrl R. I'm gonna add one here, and I'm gonna press Ctrl R, and I'm gonna add another one there, and click. Perfect. So I have that loop there. I'm gonna press SX just to scale it up like that to the side, and then I'm gonna select all this loop with Alt. I'm gonna press SY, and I'm gonna scale it up like that. Perfect. That looks good. I'm going to take these loops here, or these edges, with Shift Alt, and I'm gonna bevel these guys. I already have the bevel activated there, so I'm just gonna bevel these guys and make 3 segments. Perfect. And now, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna bevel this one here. I'm just gonna insert it how it is. I'm gonna press Ctrl R. I'm gonna move this up right here. Perfect. So let's go to object mode, shade smooth. It's looking, that doesn't look that good as I want it to look, so I'm just gonna add the modifier. I'm gonna add a subdivision modifier, and that's the look I want to get. So let's add this 2 and 3. Perfect. So let's move this to the side. Let's Ctrl D to duplicate it, escape to place it in the same area. Let's bring it up. Okay, that's good, right there. And it's like, I don't like it when I have my cursor here and I want to move it here, so it's easy to rotate it from there. So what I can do, I can just go to object mode, to component mode with tab. I can press 1. I can click this vertex. I can go right click and no right click. Sorry. And I'm going to go to mesh, snap, and cursor to selected. So my cursor is gonna be there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to edit mode, and this is my origin. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna go right click, set origin, and origin to 3D cursor right there. So now that I have my origin point right there, I can just move it and just place it in the place that I want. Okay, so let's move it around here. Let's scale this down. It's probably too much. That's why sometimes I just like to use this one, so I can have a little bit more of control instead of pressing S. But that's just me, you know. You guys, every single artist like I use different kind of workflows depending on what they like the most. Okay, so I have kind of like my forearm right there, and let's move this one and rotate it a little bit later. Not that way. I like this. That's too much around there. Okay, so almost there with that part. Now I have this one that is gonna be the leg, so I'm just gonna move this one, might as well. All right, so let's go to the move tool. Let's move this one up. Scale this down with S. Scale this down a little bit more and just move it right there. Let's take the leg and oops, right there, scale it down. Keep scaling this up, down, probably around here. And let's bring my other joints. So let's bring this guy. Let's go to a front view. Let's move these ones. Let's make that kind of like the hips. Control D, escape, and move this one down. So this one can be the knees. Okay, perfect. And let's bring this down a little bit more. Scale this up a tiny bit. Okay, it's more noticeable. Okay, and kind of like we have our cure robot almost there. We just need to have the feet and the hands. So let's keep going. So for the hands, I'm just gonna make the palm just with a box. So Shift A, have a mesh, a cube, and there you go. So everything is starting here because I moved my origin. So what I can do, I can just bring my origin to the back of the to the middle of the grid. So I can just go Object, snap cursor to word origin. So now my cursor is here. So every time that I create something else is gonna go in there. So let's just delete that so you guys can understand. So now, if I press Shift A, mesh, cube, my cube is gonna start in the origin. Okay. If I have my origin here, my cube is gonna start here. So it all depends wherever it's gonna start. Okay. So let's scale this up. Like that. Let's go to face mode, press 3, and scale this on X. Tiny bit like that. Okay, maybe I should do it the other way, like this side. Press SX and move it like that, right there, perfect. Press Ctrl R to put one there. And let's move this here. Perfect. Now I'm going to select all these rows with Shift selected, all these edges. And this one is missing. Perfect. Make sure that no one else is missing. I'm not going to put anything here. And I'm going to just bevel this out. Around there. And make segments 2. Now that I have that, I can just go to my object mode, move this. I can even like move it right there and click set origin and set origin to 3 cursor right there. Okay, so now my origin is gonna be there. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to manipulate. So let's rotate this guy. And let's rotate this guy like that. Let's go to side view and let's move this one. Okay, I can even take this one as well and kind of creating kind of like the wrist joint. So I can Shift D to move, and there you go. Let's go to side view and let's connect this. Let's rotate this as well. Around there, and let's scale this up. Can even be like that big. Might work. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create the fingers. So let's see, the fingers are gonna be almost the same as I did with this. So I'm just gonna go Shift A, mesh, cube. Let's move this up. Let's scale it. Keep scaling those ones down. Scale down. SY, like that. Probably SZ. Around there. SY, but that's too long, those fingers. And I'm just gonna kind of like do a cut right there. So I'm just gonna go to my edit mode. I'm gonna press Ctrl R, take this one right there. I'm going to go to the bevel and I'm gonna bevel this guy here. Around there. Perfect, that's good enough for me. Then I'm gonna go to my X-ray mode. I'm gonna press 1 to vertex. I'm gonna select these vertices and I'm gonna move them up right here. Okay, and probably these ones I'm gonna move them up a little bit like that. So kind of like it goes curves like that, as like a finger. Then I'm gonna press 2 to select all my edges. So Alt, Shift Alt, Shift Alt. I'm just keep pressing Shift Alt. The only time that I don't do it is when I'm rotating my thing, but pressing Shift Alt to select all my edges like that. And then I'm gonna bevel this guy up a little bit here. Cool. Let's get out of this mode. And what I can do, I can just go and take my fingers right there. I can probably like add the pivot point right here so it's easier for me to move. So let's do that. Let's go and select tab 1 and select this guy. Okay. Then I'm gonna go to mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Okay. I'm gonna get out to edit mode, to object mode, and then I'm gonna press right click, set origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Now that I have the 3 cursor there, I can just go object, snap, cursor to the transparent mode. Let's go to the side. I'm just gonna delete this one. And let's move this guy here. Move it there. Rotate it. Much better. And let's scale this down. There. Then and duplicate this guy here. And I'm just going with the flow, just with this robot, kind of like I'm just trying to make a robot, pretty much. Let's scale this up, no, like that. What I can do, just wanna go to my object mode and move these ones a little bit like that. Okay. And I have to go to transparent, because if I don't do transparent, like right now I can drag select all my vertices. If I do that, look, I'm just selecting the ones on front. So I have to go to my transparent mode. And there you go, I have my arm, my fingers, and that part of the robot. So I'm just gonna take everything right here, all of them. And for now, I'm just gonna Control J to pretty much combine all of them. I'm gonna select all of them, and I'm gonna add a modifier. It's gonna be a mirror modifier, but it's giving me like a right here in the origin point. So I'm just gonna select this guy with the cube, and I have the other side of my little robot. Okay, that's great. And all I need to do next is kind of like generate the face and generate the feet of it. Okay, so let's go, and I have this one. Let's add a modifier right there, subdivision modifier, and let's increase the subdivisions of this guy. Let's go. Perfect. Now I have the 2 legs, but first I'm gonna finish the foot. I'm gonna make a foot. So I didn't think much about how to make the foot, but let's create one, a quick one. So press Shift A, mesh, and this is a really good exercise if you're really getting into Blender, or very new to Blender per se. Let's go to edit mode, press 3. I'm gonna move this one out, and press 2. I'm gonna move this one inside like that. Then press R, Control R, and I'm gonna move this edge up. Perfect. And I'm going to select, press 3, select these two faces, SX. I'm gonna scale this a little bit down around that area. Perfect. Let's move this one, this edge. So press 2, and let's move this one inside. Okay. Now I'm gonna select another edge here. So I'm gonna press like this, and I'm gonna scale this up. Right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna use the mirror modifier. So let's, now that we have joined this part, I'm gonna add a modifier. So mirror modifier, so it's gonna give us, it's gonna be right there, kind of like a weird. But the mirror object, I'm gonna select the picker, I'm gonna pick the cube, and that's gonna give me the mirror modifier in the x-axis. I have those two, and I'm gonna go to subdivision surface, and let's make this a little bit smoother. Perfect. I'm gonna add a smooth to these two. So let's do a subdivision surface and smooth that out as well. Perfect. So I had like pretty much like part of my rubber right there. Now I'm missing the feet. So let's do the feet, guys. I'm gonna start with a cube as well. Most of the stuff I start with either with a cube or a cylinder. So let's start with a cube. Let's move it in right there. Let's go to edit mode. Press tab, 3 to face mode. Let's take that out a little bit. Press 2 to edge mode. Let's bring this in. Okay, that's looking all right. Control T, one there, enter. Control R, sorry, not T, Control R. Another one, enter, right there. And Control R, another one, right in the middle, enter. Perfect. So I'm gonna give a little bit of like a nice shape to it. So let's take this row right there and scale it on X. Perfect. Let's take this row as well and scale it on Y, SY. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna press 3 and I'm gonna select these two, 3 for face mode. So these two faces. Okay, and I'm gonna scale them in X a little bit, right there. And then let's bring these edges up. So let's press 2, bring these edges up like that. So you can only have like that shape of a foot. Let's scale them this down on X, right there, perfect. So that's pretty good for what I want. Let's Shift Alt. Oh, not that one. I need to shift just this one and this one. And I'm going to bevel these ones out. Give them 3 segments. And then this one as well. And let's do another bevel here. Segments 3. And we have our foot. We can just go to transparent mode, press 1, and select these vertices and just move them inside a little bit. Right there. Okay. Get out of transparent mode. And let's add a subdivision surface to it. Yeah, this part is not getting that good there. Oh, I didn't, that was the problem. I didn't finish the bevel in that side. So let's go back and select these guys here. And now I can do this bevel. Perfect. Segments 3 or 2, sorry. And let's go to transparent mode. Press 1 to go to the vertex mode and then move this one inside. There you go. And let's move this one a little bit inside as well. Right there. Okay. Now tab. I'll go to a modifier and subdivision surface, and that foot is a little bit better. This 1, 2, and let's get out of this mode right there. Okay, so now let's take this guy, scale it down, and this is gonna be kind of like the foot of one little robot. Let's go up, bring it in, scale this up a little bit like that. Let's go to the side view. Let's move this one right there, right there. Okay, that's good. Perfect. Let's move this one a little bit so we keep some space. We can take this, Control D, and let's move this down S, so it can be our kind of like ankle. And let's move this one outside a little bit more. And probably I need to scale this down. It's a little bit big, and let's scale this one down right there. Perfect. Let's rotate this one to the outside so it's not all straight. Like that. So a little bit more. And let's move this guy. There. Select all this part of the leg. And let's Control J, sorry. And add a modifier. Let's add a mirror modifier, and with the picker select the box right there. Okay, that's pretty nice. I have my robot right there. Okay, so the only thing that I need is kind of like make a face for it. So let's make a face really fast right here. So first thing first, I'm gonna create I can create a cube. So mesh cube. Let's scale this on Z. Boom, right there. Go to edit mode, press 3 to face mode, delete this face, I don't need it. Faces, yep, delete. And let's go to this X-ray mode, press 1, select all these vertices and just bring it inside like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to press 2, I'm going to select these edges. Probably all these edges in the front. And let's bevel these guys out. Something like that. And take one segment. Perfect. Let's go back. Let's escape there. Let's go back to get out of my X-ray mode. Here, I'm gonna click this one, Control R, and insert one here, S and Z, and just scale it up a little bit. So it gives us a little bit of roundness right there. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. So let's bring it inside a little bit. Right there, perfect. And let's go to object mode. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it out there. Scale it inside. Boom. Let's go to the front view. Right there, add a modifier. So subdivision modifier 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's add a mirror modifier. And let's pick the body. And there you go. Okay. So there you go. We have our nice robot here. And hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I'm gonna bring more tutorials. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So see you next time, guys. Take care and have an amazing day and keep creating. Bye.